Welcome to Tackle Talk Live, dedicated to making you a better fisherman. Proudly brought to you by our sponsors: The Boat Shop, 3J's Four-Way, Pride Rods, Keith's Toledo Bend Tackle, The Lakes Insurance Agency, V&M Baits. Now on to your hosts, Ranger Daiwa Pro Staff Steve Graff and V&M Baits President Kevin Jean.
Oh, what a difference a week makes, Kevin.
Thank the good Lord, too.
This is a much milder temperatures than what we had a week ago this time. I'll tell you what, first of all, welcome to Tackle Talk Live. Glad to have you. Hope you enjoy what we got lined up for you today. Kevin's done a good job of getting some guests lined up for us, and we're going to talk everything once again from Sam Rayburn. Going to talk a little OHIV over there in Texas. They got some big fish rolling in over there right now, and I mean some big fish. So we're going to check on that and get maybe hear straight from the horse's mouth over there as to what exactly is going on. Right now, I would have to say hottest lake in the country, Kel.
No, it is. It is. There's no doubt about it. It's spitting out sharelunkers right and left. But today we're going to have a gentleman on from a 14-pounder this past weekend at Lake Conroe. So sharelunkers coming out everywhere right now over in Texas. And as Steve alluded to, OHIV is just hot right now. Rayburn's hot, looking at what it took this past weekend. 29 pounds to win on Saturday, 30 pounds to win on Sunday. 8 to 10 bags over 20 pounds in all the tournaments over there, or the bigger tournaments over there. But as Steve alluded to, so our first guest is going to come on who won the Big Bass Tour event over there in Lake Conroe this past weekend with a 14-pounder.
Yeah, Scott Stevens. He's going to join us today. And then also on today's show, we've got Clay Phillips going to come on. He's the partner of Derek Mundy over there at Sam Rayburn. Once again, they went out there and caught another big sack.
Just winning everything over there, Steve.
Yeah, I mean, they're biting for them, and whatever they're doing is working. So,
and we got Clay back on, and Clay's been on with us before. Clay won some individual tournaments last year. My questions are going to be to Clay is, obviously you've got something going, but Steve, this is for him and Derek especially. This is one of the best months of fishing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
From 40 and 30 pound sacks to high 20s.
Yeah.
They had 29 on Saturday and almost 22 on Sunday. And we got to pick his brain some more. What do they got going on? Is it a technique? Are they just spending more time on the water than everybody else?
And we're just now getting into the good part of the fishing year. I mein, this is when it really starts to kick in. Water temperatures. We got a Sam Rayburn report. I've got some water temperature information, lake levels, Toledo Bend. I actually did a little fishing this weekend in Toledo Bend. Caught quite a few fish over there. I'll let you know what I was doing over there at Toledo Bend. The fish are definitely pulling up, especially the buck bass. They are pulling up, but a lot of females are starting to show up shallow water. So we'll talk a little bit about that as well. But we've got two new sponsors that we are bringing on board today. The first one is Lone Star Bass Trail, and want to thank those guys for joining us for the next 4 months. It's an open team series event. The first one was January 24th. The next event is coming up March the 14th on Sam Rayburn. It's a team trail, $5,000 first place, $150 entry fees, 5-fish limit. And so if you're looking for something to fish, something new, something different. This is a tournament trail just breaking onto the scene. They've probably been around a couple of years now, I think. Huh?
Yeah, they have. They've
been around a couple of years. So, but we're glad to have them on board with us. We're going to talk about their events each and every tournament. We'll cover those events for them. So, stay tuned for more Lone Star Bass Trail. And again, if you're looking for something to fish on the 14th of March, it'll be at a Castle Boykin boat ramp, March 14th on Lake Sam Rayburn.
And then also we have One Stop Tackle. It's a new tackle shop located at 911 Carriage View Lane in Huffman, Texas. That's just outside of Humboldt, right off Lake Houston. They carry everything you need for all your local lakes around the Houston area, plus everything for Sam Rayburn and Toledo Bend. Make sure to go like their Facebook page for updated store hours and new products coming in daily.
Also, the boat shop. We've got Raymond Kidd and his guys up there in Shreveport, man, just do a wonderful job. If you're looking for a place that, especially if you got a Yamaha, when it comes to outboard engines, especially the Yamaha brand, nobody's better than Raymond Kidd. But they also got a new boat line they're introducing this spring. Camus is coming on board with them this spring. They're an official dealer for Camus boats. Also, they carry the Sea Arc. They just good people. And again, if you need repairs, they're a Garmin full support Garmin dealer. Actually, they installed the Garmins on my particular boat and did a wonderful job. The Garmin trolling motor, which is a hot item right now as well. So check them out. 2410 Sanford Avenue in Shreveport. Let the boat shop take care of all your boating needs. Or you can give them a call at 318-402-0399.
And as Steve gets Mr. Scott on the phone here, I'm going to go over. So this past weekend, the Big Bass Tour was on Lake Conroe. And this is Mr. Scott Stevens, 1425, who's going to be our guest today. Second place, Justin Buller had a 9.85. Again, it's an individual one solo fish hourly payback. Third place, Jason Selgert with a 9.29. And so you had 2 9-pounders, 5 8-pounders to go all the way down 9th and 10th place. Let's see if Steve's having some technical difficulties here. Yeah, getting him on the line.
He's not wanting to answer. Scott, we're looking for you, buddy. Give us. We'll call you right back. Yep, I got a recording. Maybe he's on the phone. we're going to track him down, and maybe Kevin's going to try him, see if he can get him on.
Scott, you with us?
I'm with you.
Oh, okay. Well, Scott, hey, man, thank you for joining us today. We appreciate you, and thank you for taking time out to give us all your secrets. And but hey, man, down to Lake Conroe, when you talk Lake Conroe, you get a mixed bag of comments or, feelings about this lake. Some guys, oh man, it's a great lake. Then you got other guys, man, it's a mud hole. I wouldn't want to fish there. But I know this, when the Bassmaster Classic was there, they caught some toads on that place.
Absolutely. And it's full of them.
How's it fishing right now, Scott? Is it fishing pretty good? Are we catching some numbers, or is it we just catching some quality right now?
Man, these fish, I've been catching quality, but not quantity in some of my local tournaments. I caught a 935, I guess Saturday, the week before, the weekend of the winter storm when it hit. And that fish, I felt like they were backing off. They were just starting to move up. And, I caught that thing on a chopstick.
What I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I caught
a little plug.
With the VMC wacky jig and about 8 foot of water. And that was really, I caught 6 or 7 fish, but but none of them were keepers. So I went to weigh in with one big fish, and, of course I won some money on that. But, but yeah. And I think the winter storm allowed me to rethink things. I'm usually fishing north,
right?
Almost all the time. I like to get away from the crowds. It gets pretty crowded up there as well. Now we got fish moving north. They're starting to move up big time. There was a lot of fish that were weighed in yesterday that were caught, all north of 1097 Bridge. But this winter storm allowed me to rethink things. And so when I went out last Wednesday, trying to do a little pre-fishing, looking at the water, it's the only day I had because I was so busy at work. It seemed like I caught more fish south, and the further north I went, the worse the fishing got.
Right.
So that was for me, that was an eye-opener. I said, I'm going to start. Yeah.
Do you think that's related to maybe the water was colder the further north you went?
Yes. It was. And then all of a sudden the inverse occurred where the north rapidly warmed up the week of the tournament. We didn't have any cold nights. That water, it jumped 10 degrees in a few days.
Yeah, our local lakes, our smaller local lakes around here, it jumped really quick.
Well, that's kind of where I wanted to go, Scott, was the fact that, who'd have thought a week ago when the water temperature dipped all the way into the low 40s that a week later it'd be 57, 58, 60 degrees on Sam Rayburn. I never would have thought it would have warmed up that quick.
Right. And the full moon, things just exploded on Saturday. I had I had some bedding fish. They were roaming. One was sunning, but let's face it, they weren't locked on beds. And there was another boat in there, and they're catching a few little fish here and there. We caught a few bass, but I just said, it's just not time. The funny thing is, I'd caught that 14-pounder, weighed her in, went straight up there, and I said, well, they're just not ready yet. And the next day.
And let's get right there. Hold on, Scott. I'm gonna stop you there because you caught that fish super early. So
7:30. Yeah.
On was this Friday or Saturday?
This on Friday.
This is on Friday of a 2-day event, correct?
Right.
Yeah.
The 3-day.
A 3-day event. A 3-day event. So at 7:30, Steve, Friday morning, day one of the event of a 3-day event, and a guy. This is a one fish big bass tour now.
Yeah.
The guy catches a 14.25, weighs it in. So everybody's fishing.
Wanted to go home.
Everybody's fishing for second place now. Scott,
yeah, I had a lot of friends telling me that, and and I felt bad for Keith. Odom, he runs the show for the Big Bass Tour. Man, I got to give him a shout out because he's local, and he's been putting these tournaments on Conroe since '97.
Yeah,
and he's always supported us as fishermen and locals. And every time I go sign up, I shake his hand and I tell him thank you. We appreciate you being here.
Yeah,
and that's just
they've been coming there for a long time. I've been keeping up with it, and they're always good weights, always really good weights. Scott, let's jump into the fish catch, man. Take us through this, what you can, without having to give out any information you don't want to give out. I, of course, caught it early that morning, so kind of take us through this catch of a lifetime.
Well, it goes back to Wednesday. I noticed that there was a lot of fish that were suspended. And so with that water column warming, these fish were starting to move up toward the top of the water column. So a lot of fish I saw on Wednesday, both north and south, were suspended in about 7 foot of water. And so we're trying to get, so my thinking was, hey, I'm going to, and then I just heard somebody, one of the pros was fishing the tournament, and he was catching this fish suspended, and nobody else was. And so that was, I said, well, yeah, of course that's going to happen here too. And so I do have Panoptics. And so I did see a lot of fish out. I mean, we had fish. I worked on a group of fish that were moving in and out of the brush. They were on top of the brush, sitting right in the top, but they just were in a funky mode. I mean, we just couldn't get them to bite. But we had some other really big fish there. I was like, man, I'm gonna make some people real angry when I come in with another large fish and win another hour, But we were just unsuccessful at that. But yeah, that morning, I'm a big crankbait guy, so I do a lot of cranking, and I have a bunch of crankbait rods. So I cover a lot of different depths when I'm looking for the fish. But I'll tell you what, I caught that fish on the Berkeley Pit Bull 7.5.
Okay.
Yep. It's got a wider wobble, and I really like the color. It's got some red, some orange. It's got a hint of purple, and it really stands out. It was overcast conditions, and the water was pretty clean. But that's what I caught him on. I was using 12-pound cigar and Vizex, and that was one of the only lines that I had that was 12 pound. Yeah.
We're gonna give a shout out to one of our sponsors here, and because I know Scott, because I know you're a pro staff with him as well. I know you was using a Pride rod.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Which rod did you have?
I had the 711, the composite cranking rod. It's medium heavy, and when you catch a fish like that, you've got to be able to stick it. I've got some. You got to be able to stick that hook, and when she gets close to the boat, she's going to take off.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. That's exactly what this fish did 3 times. She kept wanting to go underneath the boat. You're going to lose your fish that way.
Right.
I changed out all my hooks. So my hook, I don't have that hook flex.
Yeah.
And because, Billy Kistler, let's face it, the guy makes great rods. He has, my whole fishing career, he's always supported us, and every rod that he makes. It's a great rod.
Yeah.
And of course, Pride, he's outdone himself on these things, man. But the flex of that tip of that rod is what really saved me.
Now
from that fish pulling off.
Now you're cranking. Was you cranking brush? I mean, what was these? I mean, I know they was just suspended.
These fish. I mean, I could watch these fish. I mean, these fish would be at 10 foot, then they'd go straight down to 20. I mean, it's just crazy watching this. Yeah.
Did you watch her eat the crankbait on the Garmin?
No, I did not. I'm chasing them. I'm trying to chase them.
Yeah.
And I tell you, with Panoptics, if you try to watch a fish eat that crankbait, you're focused on that, and you got to be careful because that fish will hit. You go, oh shoot, man! I just had the fish on, and I'm so busy looking at this little video game, you know.
Yeah, you're right on that.
You can react a little too quick. Yeah.
Yeah, and most of the time my head's down, you know, instead of, you know, just cranking and fishing, and you know, but yeah, no, I did not see. I could have seen her. You know, but also there was some other fish. I mean, you know, as I was moving through this brush, and this is some special brush. I mean, it's got 6-7 foot tall.
Yeah.
So it's perfect for those fish.
Right.
You know,
right.
Perfect.
Well,
it's perfect conditions.
Scott, you know, looking at Conroe overall, you know, I know you guys are a little bit ahead of like Rayburn or even Toledo Bend as far as pre-spawn. You probably, I'm gonna say maybe a week or two ahead. What's kind of the peak for you guys down there? When are you getting there? Is it getting close, or are you another week or so away?
Well, usually, I mean, I think it's happening right now.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's a hot weekend.
That warming, those fish were already starting to move to the bank, and that winter pushed them back off. Like I said, I caught that 935 in deeper water. But then, man, it just, you know, real warm nights. And I mean, with this full moon, this is about the right time. Some fish go, you know, maybe even in late January. But for the most part, I'd say about, you know, around February the 28th, it's pretty much on. And
right.
so I mean, it's happening right now.
Yeah.
Good deal.
Well, good deal, man. Scott, thank you, buddy. We appreciate your input. Appreciate all the info, and congratulations, man. I mean, what a great way to start your year off.
Yeah, man, and I want to give a shout out to the Texas Parks and Wildlife. You know, I mean,
they come down and took the fish, Scott.
They came down, they took the fish, you know, and they were so appreciative of me donating that fish. And I said, let me tell you something. I couldn't have done this. I couldn't have caught that fish without y'all.
No, that's true.
Yeah, very true.
All the good work that they do, you know. And so I was patting them on the back. They weren't patting me on the back. And we'll get a good share of the offspring on this fish, and then evidently I'll get a releaser back in the water. And you know, so you know, shout out to my son-in-law. He was my net man, Michael Burks. He's with Michael Burks State Farm Insurance and here in the Woodlands. But he caught an 1132. We caught that. He caught it. But in the tournament 2 years ago, we got bumped out by an 11.9.
Ouch.
And that fish, she was in 2 foot of water, 2.5 foot.
Yeah.
I mean, and then again, right there, what was it? You know, the end of February.
Right.
Yeah.
But that was a north fish. I'll admit that. But yeah, I heard a lot of rumors that the fish came up north, but in actuality, it didn't. Came down south.
Well, Scott, we appreciate it, man. We appreciate you coming on, and congratulations on the sharelunker and the win this past weekend.
Well, I sure appreciate it. Thank you all very much.
Yes, sir.
Scott Stevens down there in Conroe, and just kind of give us an update of how he caught the big fish. And real quick, while Kevin's getting our next guest on, Bash Cash Bash. Look, guys, as of February 1, Louisiana Delta came on board. Well, now, as of March the 1st, as of today, you've got Lake Eufaula, you got Lake Fork, you got Gunnersville, Alabama, you got Caddo. Toledo Bend comes online today. South Coosa River in South Alabama. all those lakes starting today is Bash Cash Bash. So make sure you get signed up. Don't be that guy who forgot to sign up, because I know I was at Toledo Bend. There's a lot of people fishing Toledo Bend this past weekend. And I hope all these people are signed up, because there's a lot of fish in Toledo Bend, and there's $400,000 up for grabs just at Toledo Bend alone. So make sure you sign up. Bash Cash Bash. PD Vinson, they do a wonderful job. PD has this thing set up right, and he's going to reward you. And even if somebody catches a tag fish and they weren't, and they end up being that guy, and they don't get the winning, say they won the boat or the truck, if they didn't win, that fish goes back in the lake with another tag on him, and then you have an opportunity to catch that fish again. So he don't just pull the tag out just because it's been caught. He puts it right back in the lake to be caught again if the winner was not signed up. So, but anyway.
Wait, and let's go back over, because we introduced everybody to our first two sponsors. Let me turn this down here. And first two sponsors, our new sponsors at the beginning of the show. Kind of want to go back and not forget about our old sponsors. So kind of going back through Pride Rods, a sponsor that's been on the show, been with us for a while now. American made, custom built here in Montgomery, Texas. The finest rods ever made by Mr. Billy Kistler, constructed with the finest North Fork composite blank by Mr. Gary Loomis. They carry all your freshwater and saltwater applications for spinning and casting rods. So stop by your local tackle store and pick one up, or simply ask about Pride Rods. You can also go online at priderods.com or call 832-418-6040.
And 3J's Four-Way Cypress in the Outdoors, John Abraham and his guys do a great job of keeping everything stocked. They got the pegs all stocked up for your spring fishing, with your crappie guy, bass fisherman. Great product line from V&M, Strike King, top name brands right there on the shelf. All you got to do is go in there and pull a bag off. Take them with you on your way up from you South Louisiana guys coming through up I-49. Exit 127, turn right off exit 127. You'll run right into the store. It's right there on the corner of Highway 1, and just a great place to get a snack, get you a Crispito, get you some fried chicken, as well as pick up any tackle or baits you might need heading over to Toledo Bend. So, or maybe you come into Cane River. He knows what's going on Cane River now, because he gets good reports on Cane River right there in the store.
He sure does. Steve, we got Mr. Clay Phillips on the phone with us. Clay, you with us? Clay is part of the team that is the hottest team on Sam Rayburn right now, no doubt about that. Weighed in 29 pounds this past weekend to win the Outlaw team event number 3, and then turn around and weighed in 21.92 to get a good check in the Sweet 16 on Sunday. Clay, man, y'all, I don't know what y'all are doing over there, but man, it's working.
Well, do you feel like you got a target on your back?
That's for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Clay, I had to, and we've had Derek on already, I think twice this year already, and we've had you on in the past. But man, my question with all that y'all have won, that you have won, that Derek has won this year alone, man, do we have something figured out, where is it just y'all have something that those big fish are relating to? Do you have a bait figured out? And we're not asking what it is, or are y'all just...
Yeah, we are. We are asking.
Or are y'all just simply spending more time on the water than everybody else? I mean, what we got going on here?
It's a little bit of... I'm going to tell you, it's a ledge. We're fishing a ledge is what we're fishing. And, man, we either drag like a football jig, like a V&M, or a Z-Boss 25 is usually what we're throwing. Yeah. And if we can get them to fire up, everything will be all right for the most part. But we got to get them to fire.
Well, too, when you're doing that kind of fishing out there, Clay, it's also a matter of timing. It sounds like to me, y'all have your fish timed out.
You got that rotation figured out.
Yeah, you got the rotation figured out, because, man, when you're catching the quality fish y'all are catching, that just don't happen every day, because there are guys out there that know just as many good spots as y'all probably know, but their timing's not right.
Right. It is a timing thing, and that just comes from being on the water and clipping them and saying, hey, they're still there, and you can go by it a couple of times a day or whatever when you're looking, and you can kind of see when they're wanting to set up.
Right. But Clay, we're not talking about just one spot here that's doing this for y'all, right? I mean, it's a multiple spot deal.
Correct.
Gotcha.
We got about 6 to 8 of them.
Right.
Well,
Right.
the one thing I'm going to tell you, Clay, a good friend of mine, he passed away a couple of years ago, one of the best anglers in North Louisiana history. His name is David Parker. And he told me years ago, he said, I got on a little winning pattern there for a little. He said, ride that horse while you can, big boy, because one day you get bucked off. And that is so true with anybody that gets on these winning streaks, whether it's Albert Collins, Castledine, Andrew Upshaw. Everybody goes through these phases where they just dominate, and all of a sudden then they just kind of come back to the field a little bit. Do you see that happening to you guys right now? Are y'all just in that that zone where it just everything you do seems to be right?
Well, like the thing I noticed this week with the warming trend, it's kind of got my eyes open a little bit, trying to make sure they don't run off from us for sure.
Right.
Yeah, and that's where I was going to go, Clay. I know y'all are catching them deep. Are y'all still out there in the 20, 22, 23 range?
We're the 24 to 22.
24,
yes,
yeah, okay. As far as quantity out there, is because I know with this warming trend, as you said, they've got to be starting to make a push. Are you starting to lose the number of fish that's out there?
I believe so. It's coming harder for us, that's for sure.
Right. I mean, you had 29 on day one and right at 22 on day two, which is nothing to frown upon by any means. Did you not catch as many numbers on day two?
Day 2, we did not go to none of them spots.
Gotcha.
We went and started practicing for BFL.
Okay,
we went
really?
through a Zuma Z shaker and a pacemaker swim jig.
Okay.
Well, another thing too, Clay, that I know talking to Derek, we've had him on just like we've had you. It's not just that y'all have deep water spots either, because let's face it, it's that time of year.
Well, yeah,
a lot of people are going to be going shallow because the fish are pulling up.
So because I heard what bait you said right there. Y'all had 22 pounds on Sunday, and you just said a swim jig.
Yeah.
That is correct.
Okay.
So, and that's my point. Is that
because you got champs coming up and everything, and we'd like to leave a few of them if we can.
No, absolutely. No, I agree with that.
my point is, over the next month, do y'all look at it and say, okay, the big ones are in, we need to go shallow? Or do you always try to go deep no matter what and then go shallow?
It comes a turning point where you'll go shallow.
Yeah.
But me and myself, I like to stay offshore. I mean, that's just something that I do.
Well, I think, and Clay, honestly, I think you're a little like me. I don't have a problem going shallow, but when you're the 10th boat to go down a bank shallow, on Sam Rayburn where there's 1,000 boats, it's tough.
Yeah.
And that's what's made the grass hard. I mean, you got all these people beating the grass up on the weekends, and it's made it tough. I mean, like during the week, you can go out there and have a field day with it.
Right. No, I agree. And Clay, in my opinion, Sam Rayburn, the banks are getting beat so hard. I don't know how far. I think a lot of them bigger fish are staying out as deep as they can to spawn, whether it's on a stump or, a tree or something out there a little bit deeper, just because of the amount of pressure they're having up shallow.
I hope you're correct.
But can you, Clay, I mean, is there a place on Rayburn? We've talked about this before with some of you guys that's got these, good holes in different places. Is there places on Rayburn where you can go and catch a big sack that nobody's really going to?
Man, I'm gonna say no on that.
Yeah,
I mean,
I agree. It's just
because we're fishing all the way from 103 all the way up to farmers
to the river. Yeah. And so Toledo Bend's probably not as bad. There are places on Toledo where it may not get as much pressure, but you can.
I don't know, Steve.
But I know this weekend there was a lot of people over because I was over there.
There's no secrets period anymore between Sam Rayburn and Toledo. The only point is when people know they're there or not.
Yeah.
In my opinion, there's with the graphs and with everything we have now, it's just knowing when the fish are there or exactly where they're holding at, and it's just putting you time. And I will say, as hot as they are right now, Clay and Derek both have earned every bit of this.
Oh, no doubt.
Because I know how much
it
time
don't just happen.
They have put on the water. And these two gentlemen have put their time on the water. Absolutely no doubt about that. So what we got coming up, Clay? Y'all got BFL this coming weekend for sure. Both of y'all going to fish the Saturday and Sunday?
That is correct. I'm not going to be able to fish the Saturday one. I got to take pictures with the wife.
Oh,
and so it's kind of a sore subject in my house right now.
Well,
as hot as you are, I would imagine.
Well,
so.
and I want to go over that real quick. When you fish a team deal, and then all of a sudden now you got an individual event coming up, do y'all sit down together, you and Derek, and say, okay, all right, here's what I would like to do, and he says, well, here's what I want to do. You have to come to some kind of mutual agreement.
What we do is what I find. I run my stuff, and we kind of keep, we know who finds what. So we'll just, he go do his thing, and I go do my thing. And
okay.
More likely, we may not even see each other.
Right. Yeah,
and that's good.
If you use y'all's fish in a team tournament, that's your fish, and his vice versa.
Yeah.
A few more questions, fishing related questions here, Clay, and I won't pick into what y'all are doing anymore. But how this past weekend? How was most of the larger stringers caught? Was it most of them caught up shallow?
I believe so. I'm going to say yes. I mean, our biggest stringer, we didn't catch up shallow by no means, but
right.
a big wave of fish with that moon and everything, I believe went up.
Right.
Well, actually, Derek, I was texting him this morning, and he was talking about the water temperature was 60 degrees in places. Well, I mean, that's
we even seen some 64-degree water.
Yeah,
wow.
I mean that's crazy. And to think a week ago it was in the low 40s. I mean, it's just these warm nights really sped everything back up, didn't it?
Yes, sir. It sure did.
And well, man, hey, we got anything else, Kevin?
I think I picked his brain about as most as I can pick it.
Yeah, we're not getting any farther. We're not. He's not going to reveal anything else. So, Clay, we appreciate you, man. Well, thank you for coming on, and good luck this weekend, and with the wife as well. And sound like you're going to need more luck there than you will fishing.
I hope you and Derek have a good CPA. All I can say.
Yeah,
Clay, we appreciate you coming on, man.
All right, thank you, Clay.
All right.
All right. Hey, it's always good to talk to those guys. Well, Clay Phillips, again, part of the team of Mundy and Phillips, and
they're going to be a little tight-lipped, but they're making a lot of money right now over there. But I know both of them like to fish deep, Steve, and they're going to hold on to it as long as they can, and they're both really good shallow water fishermen.
Yeah.
But those shallow water guys is really fixing to put some heat on them with the next month and a half, 2 months of tournaments come up on Sam Rayburn. No doubt about it.
Kevin, we don't have these two guys on to talk about this with them right now, but between me and you, how much longer? Because I know how long it took Albert Collins, a year or two, and all of a sudden all his stuff was being hit and hammered. How much longer can these guys continue to go out and catch these sacks? And nobody know about it.
And this is what I said, and I said it earlier. Derek, especially, and Clay, when they teamed up, the last month and a half has been about the most impressive month and a half for Derek Mundy, and when he's done team events with Clay, that I've ever seen around Sam Rayburn, Toledo Bend.
Yeah.
Because
there's some sticks over there.
They weighed in 29 pounds on Saturday.
Yeah.
Did not go back to any of them spots. Did not go back to any of them fish. Put on a swim jig and went shallow and caught 22 pounds.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just when you are hot, you're hot. But he is right. They are riding a streak right now that I don't know if I have ever seen on Sam Rayburn. Because Sam Rayburn's got some guys that can catch them.
And again, we see guys even on the pro tour get on a roll. They get every event. They're top 10 or top 5, and again, ride that horse while you can, because there comes a day when all of a sudden you're right back with everybody else, and you're like, man, what the heck happened? It goes in cycles, and so. Congratulations to those guys once again. They'll continue to ride that horse while they can, and hopefully, things will continue to go their way, because they're, it's just the way it is. Real quick, we got some lake reports. Sam Rayburn, just to kind of, even though we just talked to Clay, water temperature is 58, as he said, up to 64 degrees in some places. So far, according to the guys I've talked to, no shad die-off that they have seen so far, which really surprises me because that water temp really got hit hard. And a lot of times that's exactly what causes the shad die-off. But so far, lake level is 163.08. It's a difference of 1.32 low, 1.32 feet low right now. And so 10-day gain is 5.16 inches over the last 10 days, come up 5 inches. 24-hour gain, 0.6 inches. So the lake is on the rise. I guess it's all that rain we're getting up north. Plus, we got some rain today coming through. And then Toledo Bend. We got Toledo Bend. I was actually on Toledo Bend. The water temperature was 58 degrees in the area where I was at. And 55 to 58 seems to be the norm. And I'm sure if it's 60-degree water at Rayburn, there's probably 60-degree water somewhere at Toledo Bend. There was a good bite early. Midday bite there was a full moon, so the midday bite was pretty good as well. And lizards, creature baits, spinner baits, crankbaits. And let me go ahead and tell you, there are a bunch of people on the water, especially Saturday. There was high school tournament going on. There was a team tournament going on. There was more boats out there than you could shake a stick at, and it got real crowded real quick. So be patient. I had an incident again on Toledo Bend, had a run-in with another angler. I just don't know what people are thinking. You know, look, and I'm going to say this, guys, and I don't know who the guy was, and he knew me because he saw my logo on the side of my boat. But anyway, you don't go between an angler throwing on the end of a point. You don't go between him and the bank, okay? I'm throwing on the end of a point, and he trolls right across where I'm casting. And he literally almost ran over my line, but he ignored the fact that I was even there. Didn't care that I was there. We had a few words. Well, I had a lot of the words. I'll put it that way. I was not a happy camper. Used some language I probably should never have used, but I just don't understand people. And it's the second time in 2 trips I've been at Toledo Bend that's happened. In the same identical situation. I don't understand people.
Well, Steve, that goes back to what me and Clay were talking about. I've got to the point, especially on Toledo Bend and Sam Rayburn, where I hate to go shallow just because I hate to deal with people.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
You know, it really has. It's gotten rough up there, and it's not the amount of people. It's just the way the people are acting on the water now. Not showing any respect to other fishermen, and it's gotten bad. It really has.
2 or 3 weeks ago, had a guy shut down off the boat run, come idle towards me. Had his kid and looked like his dad in the boat. I'm thinking they're going to go to my left and go around me and go down a bluff bank. No, he comes around me and goes between me and the bluff bank. And I'm within 20 yards of me. And I'm like, I just throw my hands up. What are you doing? Well, I wanted to fish here. Well, I am fishing here.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, what are y'all thinking? So people, etiquette on the water is so important right now. There's going to end up being somebody get hurt because there's going to be some boilovers and somebody, and I may be one of them. But I'm telling you right now, it's just it's annoying. It's even high school kids. I'm not having as much trouble with. These are older anglers that I'm having the issue with.
Right.
So, but anyway, that's my soapbox for today.
And now that Steve's got off his soapbox, we'll go on to our. We got 2 more sponsors we want to make sure we talk about here. Keith's Toledo Bend Tackle, located at 6302 State Highway 21 East in Hemp Hill, Texas. It's just across Pendleton Bridge, right before you get to Crease Creek, right there on your left. Stop in for the latest fishing report and shop all the right tackle to make your trip to Toledo Bend or Sam Rayburn a success. And when I say a fishing report, guys, Keith and Ben both know what's going on. I seen Ben got a check this past weekend, and the Outlaw Outdoors tournament had 20 plus pounds. They will get you going the right direction for Toledo Bend Sam Rayburn Fishing Report, and they've got all the right tackle you need with plenty of it. And that's one thing I will say about Keith. He keeps his pegs absolutely as full as possible, as full as he can get them. There's no doubt about it. So make sure you stop by and give him a visit right there. We can go across Pendleton right before you get to Crease Creek on the left.
Lakes Insurance over there in Nacogdoches, independent insurance agency. They've been taking care of Texans' insurance needs for over 25 years, offering auto, homeowners, boat, recreational vehicle, life, health, commercial insurance, covers the whole gamut. Owner Clark Moore, he's also a local guide and tournament angler who understands your insurance needs as a boat owner and wants to be your go-to guy for all your boat insurance needs as well. Give him a call for a free quote. The agency is located, again, in Nacogdoches, Texas. Give them a call at 936-205-4467. That's 205-4467. And also, real quick, Kevin and I each week we're going to kind of give you some techniques. Well, today I want to bring one up to you, and it's no secret. The trap bite right now, rattle trap, Aruka shad, whatever flat bait you're throwing, a flat-sided crankbait, whatever it is. It's that time of year. This is what what fish are looking for. It's what they'll bite. Well, there's one by Spro that's just come out. Will actually come out, I think, about a year ago. The Wamiku shad. And this is the bait. And everybody said, well, it's just another trap. No, it's really not. What makes this bait unique is the fact that there's two places on the top of this bait to attach your line. One of these, let me get the depths right here. The front line tie will run 5 to 8 feet. The back line tie will run 3 to 5 feet. So 2 different depths with the same bait, just a matter of where you tie your line onto. It's just a great, unique product, a great bait. And the thing I like about the Spro line, especially the Aruka shad or this Wamiku shad, they get so attuned to certain sound and rattles, especially with the rattle trap. So popular. Great bait, rattle trap. I'm not knocking rattle trap, believe me. I got a box full of them, and I throw them every day. But if you want something that's a little different sound chamber, makes a little different noise, the Spro series of Aruka shad and the Wamiku shad, both of them are great baits that will do a great job of catching fish. And it's something a little bit different. They make them in an array of colors, just like they do in any other bait line. Chrome. This is the Rayburn red. They've got shad colors. They've got the gold for those cloudy days. This is a great color, especially on Rayburn on cloudy days. But check them out, okay? You won't regret it. And Keith's Tackle carries those. Kurt Carver, all of them carry them over at Toledo Pen. Check them out. You'll love them. John Abraham, he's got them down there at his place. So check them all out.
Steve, O.H. Ivy.
Oh,
I mean, what else do you say other than O.H. Ivy?
That's a whole different show now.
They have had 6 sharelunkers caught this year. Yes. Sharelunkers, which is a 13-plus pounder. They say you can almost walk across from boat to boat over there. And that's what's impressive to me is the numbers and the size this place is spitting out.
Yeah.
And they said you can walk across boat to boat over there. You can't park in the parking lot at the boat ramps because everything's so full. But it's still spitting them out, Steve. There was another 14-pounder caught yesterday.
I've seen 16s. You've had 14s. 12s. I mean, it's just like it's like a big bass factory. It's almost like Lake Fork in its heyday. I mean, it's like all of a sudden we got another fork on our hands. I don't know how long it'll sustain it. I don't know. Of course, we all know what fishing pressure does. And once word like this gets out, people hook up their boats and they're headed for O.H. Ivy. I don't care where it's located. They're going to head that away.
Well, Josh Jones, who's a guide up there at Lake Fork, he caught a 14 a week or so ago. Catches a 15-40 yesterday.
Yeah.
He's caught a 14 and a 15 in like a 2-week span. So what's
is that going to be the new? Is it? Do you know if it's a slot lake? Is it?
I've been to O.H. Ivy. Honestly, I don't remember. I was there a long time ago.
We'll have some more. I'm sure there'll be some more big fish. We'll have a little more next week. Matter of fact, maybe we'll try to have somebody.
I'm actually trying to have somebody on from over there that could give us some really good reports. I mean, that's a little bit out of our zone. Of course, we're covering Central Louisiana, East Texas here, but when something that close is a truck drive away, we got to talk about it, especially in Texas.
Well, when you're bringing out big fish like that, like you said, it's in the state of Texas. That's our next door neighbor. We've got to cover it. We've got to at least give it a little bit of attention. But I'd like to know, is it a slot lake, and again, is this fixing to be, Kevin, a hot destination for bass champs, for different tournament trails?
They go there. I mean, all of them go there. It's a smaller lake. It's not, it's not no Toledo Bend or anything.
Right.
But it's going to be a destination.
Can it handle major tournaments, big events?
In 2011, I believe it was, they had 12 sharelunkers caught there in the year of 2012.
Wow.
2011, I think, but we're already at 6 and we're 2 months into the year.
Well, what'll be interesting when the Bassmaster magazine comes out with their best lakes in America this spring. I'm just anxious to see if it's going to be on the list.
How can it not be? I mean, you got 6 over 13 caught in 2 months.
Yeah. And what a great place for future events like that, or maybe an MLF event. Maybe they go there. that lake's on fire. So, and I don't know, is it a grass lake? Do they have grass? Is it rock? What's
I know the guys are catching on Alabama rig out over there right now.
Really?
They're pre-spawn fish, so they're full. I mean, you can see all the sharelunkers they're catching are just bellies are absolutely gorged.
Yeah.
And I know they're catching them all on A rigs mainly right now. So
is it fish like Amistad or Amstead? Does it fish like that?
It's been a long time, Steve, since I've been over there. I don't want to start lying to you there.
And where's
we're
the
going to
location
get
of this
some
lake?
more central.
So it's south of Dallas,
Oh yeah,
west of Waco,
south.
south of Waco. Oh, okay,
South.
Wow. All right.
So-
Well, again, we'll cover more of that. Real quick, upcoming schedule. You've got this weekend. You got the BFL and Sam Rayburn, which we heard Clay talk about a few minutes ago. You got that going on, and then the next day it's the Toledo Bend Makeup Tournament. That I know a lot of you guys are still upset about that they didn't go back to Toledo. But again, guys, if you're a tournament director, trust me, if you had to reschedule these suckers, you'd be like, we're doing good, just get this thing in. So that's why they're doing day 2. Will be Sunday. Will be the makeup tournament for Toledo Bend on March the 7th.
March 13th, Bass Champs will be at Sam Rayburn. And then the turnaround, they will have their Toledo Bend makeup March 14th, right there on the Toledo Bend makeup on Sam Rayburn. So you got back-to-back BFLs, 6th and 7th. You got back-to-back Bass Champs and 13th and 14th. Also on that same weekend on Toledo Bend is the Despino Tire Tournament, which is guaranteeing $20,000. No matter how many entries, they're guaranteeing $20,000 first place on Toledo Bend March 14th.
Great cause. Children's Miracle Network there, and Randy Espino and his guys that put on a great event each and every year. Also, the Lone Star Bass Trail, March the 14th, will be out of Castle Boykin at Sam Rayburn. So if you're looking for a team trail to follow, jump in there. I think that's their second one in the spring. Then they'll have a fall tour as well. We'll talk about more of the fall as we get closer to those dates. And but also there's a benefit this Sunday.
There's it's Saturday.
Is it Saturday?
Saturday on Toledo Bend. It was March 6th actually. This Saturday on Toledo Bend. Local family here from Natchitoches, Louisiana. They're doing a benefit. Contact Mr. Philip Strahan from the Marthaville area, and you can get on his Facebook account. We will share it here on the Tackle Talk page as well for a little benefit, guaranteeing $3,000 first place over at Toledo Bend. We'll share that post for you guys. Any of Toledo Bend guys that might be interested in fishing this coming Saturday this weekend.
Yeah. Hey,
so
it's gonna wrap us up. Do we got anything else, Kevin? Anything else we want to talk about?
Not really. I mean, there's a ton of stuff going on. Bunch of tournaments this past weekend. We've kind of went through all the results, but a lot of things coming up next couple of weeks. A lot of stuff to cover, and we will do our best to get it all to you. Any more sharelunkers come over on Ivy? We're working on getting a guest from OH Ivy on hopefully next week to talk about everything going on over there. But guys, we're going to keep you updated with all the fishing reports, Toledo Bend, Sam Rayburn especially, and kind of get you going through everything. Real quick, we did have the 13. The Boss Tournament Trail at Lake Caddo. Caddo's starting to get hot as well, as all the local lakes around here are. Took some good weights in the Lucky 13 tournament and Caddo, correct?
This put on by Boss Tournament Trail Director Mike Eccles. He calls it the Lucky 13, kind of a spinoff of the Sweet 16 over at Sam Rayburn. He decided to come up with this Lucky 13. Catch 13 pounds or more, you're going to get a check. Earl Glass and Mark Hay on Caddo Lake caught 5 fish weighed 23.93. I was looking for a big fish. I don't see a big fish. But Cody Dollar and Chris Lee came in second with 4 fish. And they had 21.51 with 4 fish, but they had a 7.66 kicker. And then Chase Allen, Johnny Varnarsdale, they had 5 fish that weighed 18.08. Billy Joe, Bernie, and Stuart Tony, they had 5 fish that weighed 17.61. For fourth, Brandon Tingle, Damon Tingle over there around that Coshada area. Those guys, they had 3 fish that weighed 15.52.
3 fish for 15.
So,
and Caddo's a slot lake. It has a huge slot. So it's 20.
It's 17 to 24.
Is it 24?
I believe so.
It's a slot lake, so you can't keep.
No.
It's 20.
14 to 18.
Right.
Yeah, 14 to 18.
14 to 18. So, on that lake, that's why you only see 3 or 4. There is a ton of 3-4 pounders caught that they can't weigh in because it's a slot lake. So, that Caddo out here, and I heard a report on Friday, it was getting hot over there. So it's another local lake that's kind of, the fishing's starting to get right. Everything's starting to set up around here. Weather's getting warmer. Water temperatures really came up really quick after this winter storm that I was worried about. So it's going to really help the fishing around here. So everybody needs to get all your tackle out, get your rods out, get them ready. It's time to go fishing.
Well, and if you're looking for a team trail and you live in North Louisiana, East Texas, Boss Tournament Trail, Mike Eccles again does a tremendous job of putting these tournaments on each and every year. I've always been a big proponent of teams, and people follow trails, but they follow tournament directors, I think, more than trails because they like the way tournaments are run. Only some guys do it the right way, and Mike Eccles does it the right way. So if you're looking for something to fish, Boss Tournament Trail is a great team trail, and so check it out, or the Lucky 13 that they just started this year. So
and one last time, I want to say thanks to 2 of our new sponsors, the Lone Star Bass Trail, which has a bunch of events going on. Sam Rayburn, they do MLF style events on holidays. A couple events they've already done, some MLF styles. They will have a fall circuit coming out for Toledo Bend. We will go over that at a later date, and also One Stop Tackle. It's a little tackle shop right outside of Humboldt, Texas, there off Lake Houston. Got everything you need for all your Houston area lakes, Lake Conroe, and even Sam Rayburn, Toledo Bend, from guys coming up from Houston to fish the lakes. Anything and everything you need, including all your V&M baits there at One Stop Tackle in East Humble.
And just like these 2 new sponsors, they contacted us through Facebook. We're asking you, hey, if you're interested, you've got something, a store, a new location that you'd like to promote. Maybe you got, we don't have any restaurants right now. We'd love to have you. If you've got a really good restaurant with a lot of fishermen, we're going to eat now. I'll promise you we're going to eat. So give us a message. Just message us on Facebook. We'll get back in touch with you. Kevin or I will make sure we reach out to you. We'll hook up with you, get on the phone. We'll talk about what we have to offer. Again, we're averaging 4,000 views a week. That's a lot of people coming to our Facebook page. Our YouTube channel is getting bigger and better, still continuing to grow. So check us out, Facebook or YouTube. But again, we'd love to have you as an official sponsor of the show. So that's going to wrap us up for this week. Good luck this week. Good fishing. The big ones are biting, guys. They're pulling up. This is our favorite time of year. It's what we all live for. So if you want to continue to catch big fish, you got to continue to watch Tackle Talk Live. Thank you. Have a good week.